Greetings and salutations, folks. My name is Nick, and welcome back to Crow Country one last time, where we have arrived at the end of our tale. Edward Crow is the last remaining person. Harrison James, the detective sent to look for the missing Edward Crow, was shot and killed by Marv. Marv is dead, having been knocked into a seemingly endless pit by Julie, the lawyer who constantly finds herself in situations where she needs saving by Mara here, although Mara is clearly a fake name. Whatever it is, we have yet to discover. But I'm sure that'll come out soon, because we still don't know exactly what... She says she just wants to talk to Edward Crow. Natalie expects her to want to kill Edward Crow. But she obviously can only afford very cheap hair dye, because it was washed away in a single shower. Either it's really cheap hair dye or really poorly applied, because it was just washed out immediately. It's a medical cabinet. It's a large medkit, but I'm full up on medkits. I don't need more. Let's see, do we have a map of this area, or are we not even on the map anymore? We are not. It's a sealed envelope. For Natalie. I won't open it. But you won't take it with you. It's a hazmat suit. It's covered in a fine layer of dust. I guess he's not wearing it anymore. I wonder if that means that he's dipped into the pool himself. It's a bed. This must be where Crow has been sleeping. The sheets are stained with blood. Like, I wonder if we came here for revenge, but now it's too late. Because the person that Crow is no longer the person that he was. Should I talk into it? Mr. Crow? I'm here. I'm in your lab. Llewellyn. Open the door. I will. But first, please pick up the glass vials I've laid out on the counter. Why? Please. Fine. You're Elaine. I thought Elaine Marshall died. It's an elevator. A relatively simple way to get up to the surface. It doesn't work anymore, because someone's driven a fire axe through the control panel. That would do it. Alright, so what are the vials? 5 glass vials, each with the same pale green liquid inside. This must be what Crow was talking about. Actually, no, like the last we heard of Elaine was she was in the hospital with the bacteria, and doctors were stymied as to what they were supposed to do about it. First, I need to free up some space. I'll put down the other objects I'm carrying. I won't need them. Huh. I took the vials, left in their place all the other items I collected. The police ID card I took from Harrison James. The bronze key given to me by a fairy. The crank handle I found in a safe. The ruby gemstone that was hidden in a painting of a demon. The chain I took from the neck of a mechanical swan. The mask I excavated from a block of resin. The trident I took out of a witch's cauldron. The silver key that was hidden in Neptune's palace. The data disk I got from the change machine in an arcade. The acid bottle I took from a cell in a dungeon. The golden key I found trapped inside a fairy's head. The battery I pulled from the stomach of a robotic mermaid. Good times. This kind of reminds me of the book The Invisible, or it's not The Invisible Man. I think it's just called Invisible Man by... Is it Ralph Ellison? I think it's by Ralph Ellison. I think that's the author's name. But, spoilers on a 50-year-old book. By the way, you should read the book if you haven't read it. It is amazing. But there is an idea that is communicated in the book. This is a spoiler-free version for those who haven't read Invisible Man, where there's a part where a character has all of their collected trinkets over the course of their story, and they burn them all, one at a time. And I feel as though, like, in that book, like, those items are, it's almost as though they're burning their own pieces of their identity. Like, without those items, they are no longer themselves. Like, are these items that she's leaving behind aspects of her adventure? And now her story is being left behind in favor of these new items. Mr. Crow, I have the vials. Open the door. Stand back. Pool access. There's a lot of blood on the bloody handprints. Why are there bloody handprints on the floor? Oh yeah, and then the lawyer recognized, like, thought she knew who your character was. The lawyer representing Elaine Marshall's case. But because you had dyed your hair, you had made yourself look different as a disguise, just in case anybody would recognize you. Wow. Sir, you have seen better days. Also, the fact that you've been cutting all of these golds from stalks coming out of this pool really kind of makes the gold seem iffy. Bear trap. Another bear trap. Elaine Marshall. Edward Crow. How long has it been? 2 years. We've never met before. No, I mean since you became infected. 2 years. 2 years since I shut the park. I'm glad you came back. Why would you give a shit? I would offer you a drink, but... What are you now, 18? Not quite. She was 15 when she went to the park and got infected. It's been 2 years, so... And yet you made it all the way down here. You're clearly very stubborn. That's good. It gives me hope. Hope? Tell me, how are you feeling? Bad. Tired. They can't get rid of my infection. It's been getting worse. Of course. I must say I'm relieved they let you out of the hospital long enough to... They didn't. I escaped. I see. You really are determined. And all this because you want to kill me, I assume? No. I came because I want to tell you something, face to face. I need you to know. Go on. Mr. Crow, I'm going to die from this infection. We tried everything, nothing works. It's going to kill me. But I didn't realize you have it too, the same infection. Of course, anyone who has been exposed to the guests will have it. Naturally, I was the first. When the first guest emerged from the pool, I tried to help him. I put him in a holding cell up on the ground level so we could monitor him more easily. The holding cell, that's where I was attacked. Yes, bringing the guests up to the surface proved to be a mistake. But you look worse than I do. And you have money. I'm simply further along. My continued exposure to the guests has accelerated the process. Continued exposure? Your bloody escapade today, it may prove to have a similar effect for you. Oh God. It looks bad. What's it like when it gets that bad? I shall not lie to you. So I won't tell you anything. Elaine, do you remember when your family asked me to pay your medical fees? Yeah, they're holding you accountable since I was injured in your park. But you never paid them. My lawyer is trying to take you to court over it. Yes, this was a deliberate decision on my part. Knowing the nature of your illness, I knew there could be no cure found at the hospital. Wait, but there is a cure. But there is a cure. I made one. How? I had to reverse engineer it. I've been studying the highly infectious bacteria on the dead bodies of the guests. New kinds of bacteria that nobody knows about yet. That's been the problem. It's no surprise your doctors were stumped. Those vials from your lab? Yes, you have the cure on your person at this very moment. 5 vials. Enough to cure 5 people. 5? Harrison and Marvin are dead. Oh, that's Elaine. Harrison and Marvin are dead. So that leaves you, me, Natalie, Tolman, Julie, and Arthur. That's 6. Okay, so don't give the cure to Edward, and then he just dies underground with his creation. That's 6 people. You didn't make enough vials. You're wrong there. I shall not be taking the cure. You understand where we are right now. You call it the pool. Correct. And protruding from its depths, the 7 roots. What's left of them after years of you cutting them up, harvesting them for gold? Exactly right. Elaine, look at me. Listen. The pool is a gateway. And the guests are human beings who attempted to travel through it and emerged here. Why are they so messed up? Because I've spent the last 10 years dismantling the mechanism of that gateway. I don't understand. The pool still works, technically. But thanks to me, it is severely malfunctioning. You see, the roots are a kind of calibration antenna, necessary to accurately and safely transport those who travel through the pool. Mr. Crow, where are they coming from? The guests. What's on the other side of the pool? Which is why, as the story has progressed, the new guests have become worse and worse than the old guests, is because they've been taking off more and more of the roots. You understand now how my excavations have been causing the mutations of the guests. Also understand the mutations have been getting worse as I cut down more of the roots. The beings that emerge from the pool now, they barely resemble humans at all. Most of them cannot walk, let alone speak. But that first guest to emerge from the pool all that time ago, he was the least mutated. No. Yes, Elaine, he could speak. Just barely. He told me who he was and why he had come. I wrote it down, word for word, on a little piece of paper. And then, I went back to harvesting the roots. No subsequent guests were capable of speech. You may now understand why I'm choosing not to take the cure. Because he realizes he has become a monster. And he is deserving of nothing more than death. My time is short. Before I die, I must look upon what I have wrought. You're going through the pool. Hold out your hand. What? Take it. It's a little piece of paper. Now that it is in your hands, I am going through the pool. You'll be mutated, it'll kill you. A fitting end. Perhaps if I am lucky, I may get a glimpse of what lies on the other side. I have one more thing to ask of you, Elaine. If for any reason I re-emerge from the pool, I want you to kill me. But if I re-emerge, I will be in no shape to continue living. Do you understand? Goodbye, Elaine. I raise a glass to your future. Okay, this is going to be a boss fight. I think. Possibly. That was a load-bearing teleportation. Yeah, great. Yeah. He's slow. Ah. Okay, we're gonna have to heal, possibly. Switch weapons. Yeah, just all of the grenades. Magnum time? Let's use... How do I... Magnum time! Out of Magnum. Ah! Elaine, it's... Shut up. I don't want to know. Elaine, you promise kill. Yeah, okay. It's over. There's only one thing left to do. Hey, I shot you. Staring into the flames, I feel something. It's a curious mixture of hope and dread. Maybe everything will be okay. And maybe it won't. I feel as though my dog is giving me weird looks for my attempts at reenacting or acting out this scene, even if just the dialogue. He's just like, what the hell are you doing over there, man? That's not a normal sound you usually make. So that was Crow Country. I liked it. That was good. There's some aspects for it I didn't necessarily care for. The one most notable is the game's love of traps that are like the same color as everything around them. Like everything, like a lot of things blend in very easy. And a lot of traps I just kind of fell into because it's like you only kind of see a very small section around your character, and that's it. Oh, let's see how bad of a score we got. I'll be lucky to even get a C. Yeah, I got an A. Because the game didn't realize I used any lives because I had that option off. I got A rank. And I only got that hint because I wanted to see what that did. But I definitely used a lot of heals and did not find every secret. But yeah, traps were annoying and frustrating, especially considering how close up the camera was and how dark and monochromatic the backgrounds tend to be. Everything's very close up, colors are very monochromatic, and like there are a lot of objects in the way of the camera. Like if you spin your camera around and there's a wall in the way, the wall's just going to be in the way. The game doesn't just make that wall vanish so that you could see your character clearer. I don't think I was necessarily that big of a fan of the combat. Like, the way that you kind of like had to very slowly aim. Like you got more control over your aim as opposed to your typical Resident Evil. And this would essentially mean that the game doesn't have to figure out how to auto-aim based on the heights of your opponents. Like one of the issues that Silent Hill 3 has is they introduce a lot of new weapons, but a lot of those weapons are terrible for certain enemies of different heights from you. Largely because they barely had time to make that game at all. Silent Hill 3 had like a 9-month gestation before it was birthed into the public. And like giving you a more freeform aim system definitely slows down combat because you do have to stop and aim. There's no moving around. You have to adjust yourself. Like there's more steps to it, and the process of it makes me less want to do any of that combat. Like it's less about not doing the combat is less about running away from bad guys and trying to maintain your inventory, and more about it's going to take too much trouble to stop and aim at these guys. So I'm better off just trying to run past, and then running directly into a trap, like me. The story was very interesting. Character development is well done. Like, I actually cared about these characters that I run into. It was fun seeing all the characters pop up again and again. And what the mystery is of the pool of Crow Country, what really is going on. And as a indie take on the classic ideas that aren't really necessarily used as much in their own flagship games. Although I suppose Silent Hill is now making a new renaissance for itself, now that Konami realizes that they need to make money off of their IP, and you can make more money off of your IP if people make good games. But no, like this, it does an excellent job in regards to like that classic approach to the game. I don't know what I would have liked more about the combat that would have made it more interesting. or what I might have liked more about the enemies to make them more interesting, because they all kind of are like loose amalgamations of flesh. You have like your fully developed guests, your mal-adjusted guests, and your hideously deformed guests. And like, I feel like I'm gonna have to like replay Signalis if I want to remember like the kind of combat I would have appreciated more in this kind of game. Whereas I think Signalis was worried less about the vertical aspect of it and more about just like aiming around, doing your 360 aiming. Like you weren't as much worried about the up and down. And that might have also helped make this a little bit more seamless, as opposed to having to stop and aim up and down. Like, I think that would have made me like the combat a little bit more if you didn't have to worry about the verticality of your aiming. And maybe if, like, while aiming, it just forced you to move really, really slowly. So, like, you couldn't necessarily Serious Sam your enemies to death. But at the same time, you wouldn't necessarily have to come to a complete full stop and be like, yeah, I'm not going to be troubled by this. I'm just going to keep running. I wonder, like, how they could have done it so to make, like, these big enemy encounters act more like bosses, as opposed to just, like, big enemy. But I think I probably have, what's the expression? Quarterbacked from the bench long enough. It's still a solid game. It's still a good game. It was enjoyable, exploring Crow Country and discovering its secrets. For now, though, got any suggestions for something to play next? Leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.